From Target Field in Minneapolis, it's doubleheader day for the Houston Astros. They take on the Minnesota Twins in a twin bill. And the weather is fine for this one. It rained all night last night. The Astros and the Twins are meeting for the final 2 times this season, today and tonight, in a day-night doubleheader. The Astros 58-55, Twins 46-67. And welcome to Target Field. Bill Brown and Jeff Blum. Julia Morales joins us soon to lead you up to Game 1. The night game will be a 6:10 start, so we'll have a little time in between, or a lot of time in between, Blummer.
Yeah, it could go either way. That's the most interesting thing about these day-night doubleheaders is you got a guy like Doug Fister, works fast, usually gets through that ball game pretty quick. If he does, then you have some serious downtime before that second game. And those idle hands sometimes have some issues in those clubhouses.
Well, Fister will start Game 1 against the Twins. They go with right-hander Jose Barrios. But for the grinders, it's doubleheader day. It's possibly 18 innings. Who knows, maybe even more for the Jose Altuves, the Carlos Correas, if they do, in fact, play both games.
Yeah, and I think the issue is George Springer. Altuve got that day off the first game of this series, so he was out, got his rest. Last night, a little bit of a day off, but I think the real issue is going to be how does A.J. Hinch create a situation where George Springer can DH, give him a little bit of rest on those legs, because he's been playing a lot of baseball, very good baseball, and it's a rough time out there playing a lot of outfield in 18 innings.
In modern-day doubleheaders, teams get to add a 26th man. That will only be the case for Game 2, the night game, coming up tonight at 6:10. And we'll see both teams add pitchers for that game. Coming up, it's Carlos Correa with a big 4 RBI night before last. And he will be facing his boyhood friend in Jose Barrios. Julia Morales has more in just a moment.
On Root Sports is almost set to begin. It was a no game yesterday with all of the rain. Unfortunately for Carlos Correa, that base hit will not count. However, the foul ball will still be with him. He hit one off of his knee yesterday. However, he is okay to go for the twin build today. And the Astros could surely use their run producer. Our Toyota time to play looks at Correa and some of his numbers, including RBI. He has 74 this season and had 4 of them Tuesday night right here. He hit that 2-run bomb after Hector Santiago, his 3rd career off the lefty there, and then had a 2-run single later in the game. So a 4 RBI night, that's the 5th time he's done that in his very short career. 2nd time so far this season, and he ranks 9th in the American League in runs batted in with the 74 I mentioned earlier. He will be looking for his first ever hit against the fellow Puerto Rican, Jose Barrios, today. He did draw a couple of walks off of him back in May, but looks to get after him today and help his team win the first one of the 2 that the Astros will play today. It's the start of the header, and it's coming next on Root Sports. Bill Brown and Jeff Blum are in the booth, and they're going to have more. George Springer will lead things off for the Houston Astros, so don't go anywhere.
En Route Sports is presented by Jack in the Box, by Toyota. Let's go places. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Jack's Brewhouse Bacon Burger today at Jack in the Box for a limited time only at participating restaurants. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing too high. Well, the sun is out. Now, there is rain in the forecast for the night end of this day-night doubleheader, but we'll worry about that later here at Target Field in Minneapolis, where after the rain out last night, it is split doubleheader day. It'll be the first doubleheader for the Houston Astros since May 28, 2012, when they played 2 at Colorado on Memorial Day. That was a scheduled doubleheader. This is the first doubleheader they've ever played in the American League. A.J. Hinch's club taking the field with a 58-55 record. And here's the lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It's George Springer leading it off. He's in right field. Alex Bregman's at third base, batting second. The number 3 hitter is Jose Altuve at second base. The cleanup man is shortstop Carlos Correa. With Marwin Gonzalez at first base, Preston Tucker in left field, A.J. Reed the DH, Jake Marisnick in center field, Jason Castro the catcher.
On the mound for the Minnesota Twins, you are looking at Jose Barrios, making his 7th start on the season. This is also his 7th career start and appearance in the major leagues. Recalled back on April 27th. Last start out, he threw against Tampa Bay, took the loss going 5 innings, giving up 4 earned runs. He does have a start against the Houston Astros in his career. He is 1-0 with a 3.38 ERA. He went 5 1/3, only giving up 2 earned runs. He walked 5 and 8 in that ball game. George Springer has him in his book, hitting a home run off him. Also, Preston Tucker.
It's an interesting story that he, like Carlos Correa, is 22 years old And they grew up together in Puerto Rico. And of course, as Julia mentioned, they faced each other with Carlos drawing a couple of walks, going 0 for 1 against him in Houston. And on that day, Barrios beat Dallas Keuchel 6-2, giving up 2 earned runs in 5 1/3 innings. So now, as he makes his second start against the Astros, facing George Springer. Springer has a 3-game hitting streak with a .254 average, 22 homers, and 62 runs batted in. That's in tight, ball 1. Correa is actually not 22 until September 2nd, so he's still 21. Barrios a little bit older. Springer looks at 1 in tight. And that one crowds him a bit. It's 2-0. Barrios just back from the minor leagues, and he's had 2 starts back with the Twins since being promoted. He's won 1 and lost 1. 77 degrees at game time. It is muggy right now. 2 balls and a strike. It certainly was the feel yesterday before that rain arrived. Then it cooled things off, and it rained for hours. Fastball ties up George, and it counts 2-2 on Springer, who has a .347 on base average. He had led off last night's game with a walk. Of course, everything that happened last night is washed out. The game only went 1 out into the 3rd inning. Not official. And there are some guys happy about that. 3-2. If you're a pitcher and you gave up runs, you're happy about it.
Yeah, Dallas Keuchel was in there doing the rain dance during that rain delay last night. Got his way.
Springer puts one out of play, and the Astros as a team were happy about it because they trailed 5-0 with 1 out in the 3rd inning when the skies unloaded. Herman Santana was probably the unhappiest person because he had that 5-0 lead, shooting for win number 6 of the year, had not had much run support, and that win did not come his way. There's a single up the middle for Springer, and George gets it started on a 3-2 count. Good job of battling, hitting foul ball, and then the hit up the middle, giving him a 4-game hitting streak.
Yeah, got himself quite a few fastballs to hit in that AB. Did a good job getting to that 3-2 count. Leadoff man likes to see a lot of pitches. Does a good job for the guys behind him, getting to see that arm angle a little bit. But Barrios has struggled in that 1st inning so far early in his career. That ERA in the 1st inning, 17.47.
Ooh. Alex Bregman would love to chime in with something here. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. Springer back. Bregman had bounced into a double play last night in his only at bat, which does not count. He is 2 for 8 against the Twins this season. He grounds this one foul. There's strike 1. It'll be a long day of baseball with the time in between games. The night end of this day-night doubleheader starts at 6:10. The forecast is for rain tonight.
There is forecast rain tonight, but I don't think it's going to be quite as heavy as we saw last night. That was a pretty good deluge.
That sounds good. And you might be asking, well, why aren't they just playing the old-fashioned doubleheader? Play from, yeah, that's what it is. It's a separate gate. So this is very common in Major League Baseball today. After game 1, the crowd leaves. Game 2, a fresh audience. Back in the gates again. Separate date. No balls, 2 strikes. And the Astros will be traveling to Toronto after the end of this day. Down through the years, the Astros have swept 55 doubleheaders. They've been swept 86 times. They've split 113. 1-2. They're 3-2 against the Twins this season, and they've split the 2 games in this series. The Astros winning 7-5 Tuesday night, and they lost 3-1 Monday night. So Altuve's on deck. That's strike 3 call for Barrios.
Communication right there. I think Altuve wanted to know what that pitch was. It was a little more of a breaking ball to it. The one we saw, that 3rd pitch down and away for a ball that Bregman took for a strike, was a slider. This one a little bit more of a true curveball, locked him up.
Altuve went 4 for 4 on Tuesday, scoring 2 runs. That was his 7th 4-hit game of the year. He leads the majors in batting average at .361 and in hits with 159. 19 homers, 68 runs batted in for Altuve, and for his career, 989 hits. A look over at first base by Berríos. Kenny Vargas, the first baseman, holding the runner Springer on. Altuve has raked against the Twins. He's 8 for 17 against them. 1 homer, 4 runs batted in this season. He moves back, and there's strike 1. Jose, in addition to leading the majors in batting average and hits, now leads an on-base average at .427.
It's the same pitch that punched out Alex Bregman on that inside corner with the slider.
Yeah, you mentioned they had a little exchange after that when Bregman came over toward the on-deck circle. And that can be helpful first time through. The Astros did get that look at Berríos, but that was back in May.
Reminds me of hitting when I was playing with Houston. It was usually
a drive to center field. Rosario backing, still backing. Altuve unloads one, and that kicks off the wall, comes back in. Here's Springer to the plate, relay throw, not in time. Altuve to third, the throw goes into left field, and he'll score to make it 2-0. The left fielder Robbie Grossman was all the way over, backing up third base, and when that throw sailed over the head of Polanco, it meant another run would score. So 2-0 Houston. Altuve rips one off the center field wall, and he winds up scoring on it.
It was a Little League home run. Not in the sense that you run till they tag you, but the defense for the Minnesota Twins fell completely apart. But this ball smoked. I think Altuve was taking that curveball early to get the fastball, got what he wanted, drove it. And again, I think teams are underestimating the power of Jose Altuve to that center field, opposite field area. That was a great job by George Springer with 1 out. Go as far as you can in case they catch it. You know you can get back or get yourself in a position where you can force the play at home, and he did.
Now Correa puts it in the air. Escobar, the shortstop, moving over behind second. That's out number 2. Carlos on a 5-game hitting streak, going down on the first pitch. And it's Marwin Gonzalez batting next. 248 for Marwin, 10 homers, 29 runs batted in. You spoke of the first inning problems for this young right-hander, and he quickly finds himself trailing 2-0.
He gave up a bullet right there, but his defense didn't help him out at all either, with Centeno launching that ball to the left field wall.
It was ruled, by the way, a double for Altuve. We're just checking on that. That's his 30th double of the year. He takes third on the throw to the plate. He scores on the error by the catcher Centeno. Around to Bud. Marwin takes it. It's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gonzalez 1 for 14 against the Twins with an RBI. Nice start for Altuve, ripping that deep drive for his 160th hit. Now at .990 for his career. Butted. Berríos sliding backhanded flip. That is a well done play by Berríos. And the Astros pick up 2 runs on 2 hits with an error. We go to the bottom of the first with the score Astros 2, Twins coming up. with his starting lineup for Hall of Famer Paul Molitor, Brian Dozier leading it off at second. The DH is Joe Mauer. It's Max Kepler in right field, Kenny Vargas at first, Eddie Rosario in center field, Jorge Polanco at third, Eduardo Escobar the shortstop, Juan Santano the catcher, Robbie Grossman in left field.
On the mound for the Houston Astros, right-hander Doug Fister.
Goes to work on Brian Dozier and delivers strike one. Dozier hit a leadoff homer in the first inning last night. Also had an RBI single, so he had to be among the unhappiest at the rainout.
There's some numbers on Doug Fister making that 23rd start. Left-handers hitting .285. You're going to see a lot of left-handers in this lineup for Paul Molitor today because of that reason. Also, 12 of the 16 home runs that Fister's given up have been to left-handed hitters.
1-2. Fister has done well here at Target Field, 3-2 with a 2.67 ERA in 5 starts. Infield has shifted around for the pull hitting Dozier. Picks on a high breaking ball and hammers it to left field, and that will go foul.
Nice grab, buddy. Somebody got in the jar early.
Looks like he's done it before, Blummer.
He's been around as long as that T-shirt. Should have pretty good hands.
He's a veteran, a salty veteran.
Dozier trying to have a repeat performance of last night. Turbo hooks that one, but great play. It's a Brewer fan too.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Dozier. He leads the major leagues since June 19th in home runs with 16. That guy was well positioned.
Like you said, salty veteran.
Got his scouting report.
Yep.
Checking his alignment there on his phone.
Maybe he got the shift sent to him from the analytics department for the Houston Astros and where to play.
Well, he's not repositioning after that early catch. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Dozier is 1 for 9 in this series. Fouls it back. He homered Tuesday night in game 2. That was in the 5th inning. The Twins hit 3 long balls in that game. They've hit 136 for the season, 1 more than the Astros.
Dozier's slugging at .783 in the last 13 games.
And now that's a good way to do it. Soft away, and he lunges at it, striking out. Well, that is a classic way to pitch him. Let him hit a foul home run and then work him away with a breaking stuff.
And you know what? That's exactly what pitchers say. As mad as they get at themselves for leaving that pitch up there to get hammered, they always come back to you and say, oh, that's just a long strike. Way to go, you know. So he made the adjustment there, threw the nasty one with 2 strikes and got Dozier.
33-year-old Joe Mauer of St. Paul is the batter. Mauer's 2 for 8 in this series. Was a long-time catcher, but because of concussion symptoms moved out of that position, and he's DHing today, but he's played mostly first base for the last few years. There's ball 1. And for a strike, 1 ball 1 strike to Mauer. Mauer has hit .444 his last 13 games, going 20 for 45. Fouls that one away. These 2 have squared off a bunch of times. Mauer is 7 for 30 with 1 homer in his career against Fister. Well, that's a great job by Fister against one of the top hitters in the game.
Mauer fresh off that player of the week that he shared with Max Kepler.
Look at the outfield alignment. This one goes foul. Jake Marisnick is shaded extremely close to left center field on Mauer, and look, George Springer's way over in right center.
Yeah, and I think that's typical. And Joe Mauer's history at the plate, he likes going the other way, and in the air he really likes driving that ball the other way. So we saw it in the 2nd game of the series too, where Joe Mauer just lacing a couple base hits the other way.
Grounds to first. Marwin Gonzalez, 3 unassisted, 2 outs. Good start for Fister. The Astros are 14-8 when he He is their starting pitcher. Now it's Max Kepler, and the rookie with 15 homers, 49 runs batted in, has a .259 batting average. He's garnered a lot of attention with his slugging in recent weeks, ranking high on the rookie run producer list in the American League. Kepler takes strike one. The home plate umpire is Mark Wegner. He was to have worked home plate last night and did for just a few innings. So he's coming right back.
Got to keep that rotation.
I didn't know that's the way the umps did it. But they, in fact, have had a little change in this umpiring quartet. One umpire left and was replaced by another one since last night.
Do they get to call up a fifth umpire in doubleheaders? Jeez.
That's an excellent point. 2-1. It's 3 balls and a strike. Well, the forecast, what we had heard earlier in the day yesterday, was that the rain was to have arrived about 10 o'clock or so last night. It arrived a whole lot earlier than that, and then it stayed. Correa and Altuve are there. Altuve makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 first for Fister. The Astros lead 2-0.
Target fielder enjoying a 2-0 lead over the Twins. They're in the top of the second, and it's time for our Geico quote of the day. Casey Stengel. Now, there's 3 things you can do in a baseball game. You can win, or you can lose, or it can rain. I think the Twins actually did 2 of those yesterday. They lost and got rained out.
They really did. Yeah, they lost a win because of the rain, it seemed. Well, it was only the 3rd inning, but they were leading 5-0. And it is a beautiful day for baseball, unlike last night. Preston Tucker getting it started in the 2nd. There is strike 1 for Barrios. Tucker, a 169 hitter, has 4 homers, 8 runs batted in. That's flared foul, no balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, the Twins had Irvin Santana on the mound. He had a little bit of a problem in the 1st inning, but then he was in a nice groove. He had retired 5 in a row. Astros kicked the ball around with 2 errors in the 2nd inning when the Twins scored 4 times. So things were not at all going well for the Astros at that point. Certainly could have turned around, but Twins had to be very disappointed that they couldn't play to make it an official game. Kepler makes the catch on that one, and it's out number 1 on Tucker. But the rules state very clearly that if the home team's leading, it's 4.5 innings for an official game. So it couldn't be done last night.
Well, it's their own fault for extending that second inning against Dallas Keuchel. They'd have just scored a couple runs, sped things up. We might have gotten that 4.5 point with them in the lead.
That's a point. 133 for A.J. Reed. 2 homers, 4 runs batted in. He lines one to right field. That'll loop in front of Kepler for a single for Reed. Hit number 3 for the Astros.
How about that? A.J. Reed gets to high five Rich Dower down there at first base. Attaboy.
Well, we haven't checked with A.J. Hinch on what his plans are for game 2.
Trying to get in the kitchen of A.J. Reed. Does a good job of pulling the hands down and in. Don't have to crush it to get knocks. Hits are hits.
Jake Marisnick will follow. He smokes one on a line to center field. Rosario with the catch. Well hit by Marisnick. 2 down. So A.J. Hinch may have already planned his lineup for game 2. And of course, it's nice to give some players a rest. It's a string of games for the Astros now coming up. They do have Monday off, but they're home for only 2 games and have another road trip. So it's kind of a grueling stretch against some top flight teams coming up, starting with Toronto tomorrow night. But nonetheless, maybe if Reed gets hot, maybe the plans change if he was not the planned DH for game 2. We'll see. Jason Castro, the batter. He smokes a line drive to right field. Reed to second base. Kepler comes up with it, and Castro picks up his second hit in 3 at bats against Berrios.
Like the aggressiveness early on in the count for Houston Astros.
Reed and Castro hitting the first pitch. Marisnick hit the first pitch. So 3 batters in a row.
A couple of seeds too, because Jake Marisnick laced that ball to center field just right at Rosario. That one ripped into right. The best part about that is the bottom part of the order getting a couple knocks. You turn this lineup over, get some thunder coming to the plate.
Leadoff man with 62 runs batted in is batting. Springer singled and scored in the first. Big cut there, and he fouls at strike 1. Now Springer is one of those leadoff guys who can really attack with men on base and have a very nice RBI count. That's what he's done this year. And the Astros have not put a whole lot of traffic on base for his at bats. He smokes a line drive to left field. Grossman back. It's over his head. It one hops the wall. Reed comes in to score. Castro's being waved home by Gary Pettis. He's going to be safe at the plate, and it's a 2-run double by Springer. George with 64 runs batted in now. That's his 20th double. And the Balls have some thunder on him here off the Astros bats in the second inning.
Great swing from George Springer. I'm not sure why Berrios went back to that slider, because George took a phenomenal swing at the first one he saw, just fouled it off. Gets another one right here, rips it over the head of Robbie Grossman. This will be a good look at it. Cement mixer down and in, turns on it. But what's great about that is that 2 outs, the runner at first base, Jason Castro, actually had a little bit of an extra jump, being able to go on the swing, allowing him to score.
4-0, and it's Alex Bregman taking ball 1. He struck out looking in the first inning. Well, Springer now has 3 hits and 4 at bats with a homer and 3 runs batted in against this young right-hander. Bregman takes it 2-0 to Alex with Altuve on deck. The Astros didn't do much hitting in 2 1/3 innings last night, but they broke out the bats Tuesday night with a 12-hit attack, scoring 7 times. Bregman looks at it. That's a strike.
Let's take a look at our Lexus defensive ranking system. There's Robbie Grossman out there. I think that Gary Pettis is going to test all these guys. Max Kepler still learning how to play right field, a very good athlete. Rosario moving all over the field, tests that arm, even though he let one go the other day and had an assist.
Grossman back into left center field near the 377 sign. That is bouncing out of play for an RBI double for Bregman. 5-game hitting streak for Alex Bregman. 5-0 Astros. That's his 4th double, and RBI number 3 as a major leaguer for Bregman.
Tell you what, Robbie Grossman's getting picked on right now. I thought he might have had a shot to grab this one, because it seemed like that ball off the bat of Alex Bregman hung up in the air for a while. but I think the sun might be a little bit of an issue out there in left field too. I tell you what, in this inning, Berrios is missing some spots, hanging some sliders. This one a hanging fastball up. Bregman did a good job of actually getting the barrel on top of this to be able to drive it into that gap and make it a tough play for those outfielders.
6 hits already for Houston. Bill Allen, the pitching coach, out for the Twins. And the young right-hander goes back to work. Altuve, who had the RBI double to center field, comes around for the second time. Altuve's a .387 career hitter against the Twins. Off the glove of the shortstop Escobar, and another run will score. Bregman comes in, and it's 6-0. Altuve hit the ball pretty well. Escobar trying to backhand it, did not make the pickup. The Astros lead 6-0.
I don't think he would have had a play on Altuve anyways. That play was just primarily to try and keep that runner from scoring, but as soon as it clanked off the glove, Bregman is allowed to score easily. But another well hit pitch off the bat of Altuve. This kid has an uncanny knack to be able to get the barrel on the baseball consistently.
Now Carlos Correa with ball 1. Well, Altuve got a hit on that. He's 2 for 2 already. Up to 991 career hits. Correa looks at it, and it's 1-1. These two grew up playing ball in Puerto Rico. They were both first-round draft choices in 2012. Good friends. Foul ball makes it 1-2. Twins drafted Byron Buxton right after Correa went to the Astros in 2012. Now the bullpen gets busy already.
Wow, this is not what you want to see on doubleheader day.
Rios was the 32nd player drafted right after that first round in 2012. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rios pitched a no-hitter against a team of Puerto Rican All-Stars with Correa on it at one point as he was growing up. Little dribbler out in front of the plate. Centeno throws him out. And the Astros added their lead with a 4-run second inning on 5 hits. They lead it now 6-0.
Get your running shoes on and join us for Badges and Bases 5K and 10K run at Minute Maid Park Saturday, September 17th. Kids 12 and under can enter the Kids Fun Run, and all participants will receive a commemorative T-shirt. For more information, visit astros.com/run. Ronnie?
Thanks, Julia. Sounds like a great time. on the 17th. Kenny Vargas leads it off. They strike one of the big strapping first baseman, 278, 4 homers, 10 runs batted in. He's a switch hitter. He's had 72 at bats with the Twins. He was launching some batting practice shots a couple nights ago. 1 ball, 1 strike to Vargas. There's a .569 slugging percentage. The infielders play him to pull. It's 2-1. Vargas facing the Astros for the first time this year. He is 5 for 14 in his career against them with a homer and 4 runs batted in. He's from Puerto Rico. Signed as a free agent with Minnesota in '09. There's a shot to right field. That's going to get out. And the Twins are on the board. Vargas hits number 5. 6-1 Houston.
Tell you what, size of that human that just hit that bomb and as far as it went, wearing a Twins uniform, that gave a little flashback to Mini Poppy.
Yes, it did.
When he started out his career here. That was a blast by Kenny Vargas.
It really was. He has some big-time power, Blummer.
Man, it's the first time we've seen him in this series, too, but that was just a little bit of a hanging cutter on the inside corner. Brought those hands in and unloaded.
Eddie Rosario's next. Rosario looks at it for strike 1. 274, 7 homers, 25 runs batted in for Rosario. Vargas is listed at 6'5", 280.
Ooh-wee.
No balls, 2 strikes. Well, Pfister does throw strikes. The hitters know that. He's walked only 45 in 136 innings. So they can figure that he's going to be around the plate, especially with a big lead early. That's a strikeout looking for Rosario. Number 2 for Doug.
Good curveball as we look at on our strike zone, brought to you by MD Anderson. Just a backdoor breaking ball. Rosario's just got to tip his cap. Good bounce back AB for Doug Pfister after that home run.
That's right.
But to what you're talking about, a true professional, he knows that he's got himself a relatively good lead. He's going to attack the strike zone. He's not going to give in and just start pumping fastballs right down the middle, but I guarantee you he's going to be a little more aggressive with his game plan on those edges.
Polanco takes ball 1. He gets it in the air to right center. George Springer going over for this. George handles out number 2. Escobar will follow. Well, many of the successful pitchers of all time, Robin Roberts of the world, have given up a lot of home runs but still won. This is one of those games when it is a luxury for Doug Pfister right now.
Yeah, giving up the solo home run is okay. You start giving up those multi-RBI home runs, that's when teams get back in it quick.
Eduardo Escobar looks at a strike. 257, 5 homers, 29 runs batted in. And that's another strike. Pfister works quickly. He would be great for the night end of the doubleheader.
Getting greedy, Brownie.
Yeah, that's right. 1 and 2.
Who was it? I was talking to somebody. It might have been AJ Hinch. Said, hey, if Pfister goes out there and throws a complete game 90-pitch inning, or it was actually Brent Strom, I think, last night on the bus on the way back to the hotel, said, hey, Pfister starting that first game. If he goes a complete game and throws 90 pitches, I'm throwing him back out there for the second one.
Who does he think he is, Wilbur Wood? Escobar takes it. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Escobar 1 for 10 against the Astros this season with an RBI, and this is his first playing time in this series. That's strike 3. So after the solo homer by Vargas, Pfister comes back and quickly retires the next 3 after 2 innings, leading it 6-1 Astros.
Poll. We're asking you, what day is Altuve going to get his 1,000th career hit? He already has 2 today. He's 9 away. They've got 1 more game after this here in Minnesota. Will it be Saturday in Toronto, Sunday, or will it be at home against the Cardinals either Tuesday or Wednesday? There's an off day on Monday. All right, let's see what everyone has to say, guys.
Oh, yeah, we've got to do some orchestrating on this. Marwin Gonzalez with ball 1. He bunted and was thrown out in the first inning. Yeah, that's going to be tricky to get him to 1,000 in that 2-game homestand, Blummer.
Well, Altuve's got 2 hits in the first 2 innings, so why didn't we say today?
That's true. It's doubleheader day.
The rate this guy gets hits, it's unbelievable.
Well, we're kidding on the bus. Okay, is he good for 10 hits today?
You give him enough opportunities, he just might.
Don't discount it. From what we're watching, there's a sharply hit ball into right field past the diving Dozier. And Gonzalez is aboard. The Astros get hit number 8 already. By the way, we weren't sure at the time, but check Altuve with that second inning single off the glove of the shortstop Escobar did get the RBI, so that gives him 70 runs batted in now.
Jeez.
And, he just continues to amaze in the stat department.
I just think it's kind of fitting that he's doing these things in this city, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Kirby Puckett.
Oh yeah.
He was a little guy that did big things on the field.
Good analogy. Preston Tucker takes ball 1. We had a quote from Kirby the other night, and similar in the style that they're 200 hit guys. They can hit about any pitch anywhere. Kirby, one of the greats. Then he added that leg kick and started to drive the ball more, and Altuve has driven the ball more this year.
Just constantly making adjustments to get better.
AJ Reed's on deck. Kirby, like Jose, was such a great ambassador too for the game. Always had a smile. 3-0. Astros players did not take batting practice on the field, nor did the Twins players. But guys hit in the cage underneath. And for a strike, 3-1. We are not used to doubleheader days, are we?
No.
Do you like them?
I'm gonna have to break it. Well, no.
All right, that's honest.
I'm gonna have to break out the thesaurus. I don't know if I have enough words for 2 games.
That's ball 4, and Tucker draws a walk, and big trouble here as far as the pitching staff goes, with the starter Barrios struggling so much in the early stages of game 1 of the Twin Bill. That's his first walk of the day, but he's also allowed 7 hits. So the bullpen has gotten ready early. Michael Tonkin was throwing last inning. One of the 2 first inning runs was unearned. Lefty Tommy Malone will come out of the bullpen to pitch game 2 of the doubleheader. Paul Molitor goes to the mound.
Wow, this is going to be a long day for Paul Molitor and trying to figure out what to do with that bullpen here in that doubleheader. Going to the bullpen right now after 43 pitches from Barrios.
And the Astros lead it 6-1. Back in a moment.
this one. Astros leading the Twins. Come get a behind-the-scenes look at Minute Maid Park. Learn all about the ballpark by visiting areas like the historic Union Station, luxury suites, the Diamond Club, and more. For more information, visit astros.com/tours or call 713-259-8996 to schedule your tour today. Brownie?
Hey, it's nice to have you up here with us in the booth, Julia. You're usually down in the field. You're roaming all around. It's going to be a long day. Conserve your energy.
It is. My little umbrella was great and all, but it's just a million degrees on the field.
Now, did you see the umbrella giveaway last night that the Twins fans got?
They did. How perfect was that? Who planned that?
I don't know, but it was a stroke of genius.
Very genius move. That's exactly where my umbrella came from. I think it was a giveaway umbrella the Twins had done.
Nice. Michael Tonkin comes in. He's 2-2 in 56 2/3 innings with 2 holds and a 4.13 ERA. Facing A.J. Reed, who singled to right and scored in the second. 2 men on, nobody out. He puts it in the air, and the center fielder Rosario moves over. A 1-pitch out for Tonkin, with Marisnik coming up next. Well, we've got all kinds of baseball, of course, coming your way on Root Sports today. And Julia, you're going to be extremely busy. We did not have a pregame show today, but we'll have a postgame show after this game, and then a pregame show at 5:30, and then a postgame show after that game.
That's right. We have lots to talk about, so we'll have plenty of time to talk, won't we?
We will have plenty of time.
We'll be able to talk to the players after this one, you know, post game, and then they'll get ready to go for the next game. So a little bit different schedule with the double header like this, but we will get a chance to catch up with some of the players after game 1 and A.J. Hinch to hear his plans for game 2.
That's good. Marisnik pops it up on the left side of the infield. It's Escobar. So 2 pitches, 2 outs for Tonkin. The Astros had ambushed Berrios in the second inning, as you mentioned, Jeff, going for those first pitches. Now it goes the Twins' way here on these 2 outs.
It happens a little bit sometimes, but again, the aggressiveness, as long as they're getting good pitches to hit.
Castro singled to right in the second inning, and he came around to score on the 2-run double by George Springer. 8 hits for the Astros, and there's ball 1. Tonkin is 6'7", 26 years old, from Glendale, California. He pitched Tuesday night, an inning and 2/3, allowing 3 hits and a run. He gave up an RBI single to Jose Altuve, who hasn't this year.
That's a very good point.
1-1. Julia, between games, maybe we can, well, instead of playing dominoes or something, we could do some research and see how many different pitchers have given up hits to Altuve this year. That might be
fun. Goodness. Do we have enough time for that?
Yeah, that'd be some serious work.
Take a couple hours. It looks so nice right now, and we know rain is coming. It's one of those days, right?
You're anticipating it pretty good, aren't you?
Yeah.
We need to get Julia in front of a green screen and a map and really expand her abilities.
A meteorologist.
Yeah.
Have you ever done weather?
No, I
Julia?
haven't.
Oh. Well, maybe today's the day.
You know who are great?
Right now, looks great.
Yeah, you know who are great meteorologists? Ball players.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, man. I guarantee you every guy in that clubhouse, both clubhouses, has at least 2 apps that tell the weather. Here's what we do.
If there are any guys in their 40s down there, their bones will tell them what's happening. Grounded foul. 2-2. Well, back in the 50s, 40s, I think Sunday doubleheaders were routinely a part of the baseball schedule for teams. They'd play 2 games on Sunday, and then Monday they'd get on a train and travel. Have an off day if they were staying at home.
I wish Ash was here so I could ask him about that.
It's certainly a different day, though. Different style of preparation, the whole thing. This is the final
trip in, and the only trip in for the Astros to Target Field. So the game from last night is being made up very quickly, just 24 hours later. Otherwise, it would have necessitated the Astros coming back here on Monday, because Monday is the only mutual day off that the Astros and Twins have for the rest of this season.
Yeah, teams this time of year covet those days off, so that's why that double play is being forced today.
Castro takes. Full count to Jason. He's drawn 38 walks this year. Springer's on deck with 2 outs in the inning.
Gotta get Altuve to the dish. Get that 3rd hit in 3 innings.
If only we knew what the record is. Runners go, and it's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Castro drawing the 2nd walk of the inning to bring up Springer. What the record would be for hits in a doubleheader, we don't know, do we?
I don't know. We got to start digging on that too, Julia.
She's got it. You know that.
Are you doing anything over there?
Put me to work immediately up here.
I mean, we knew about this doubleheader last night. We could have done something, I guess, beforehand.
We could have, yeah. George Springer looks at ball 1. He has 2 hits, 2 runs batted in, 2 runs scored for Springer. So now George has scored 79 runs this season. Alex Bregman's on deck. It's 2 balls, no strikes for Michael Tonkin. Kevin Chapman will be arriving to be added to the Astros roster for the night game of this doubleheader. Rosters will be expanded to 26 men for that one game on doubleheader day. Out to center field for Rosario, still running back into right center for the grab. And in the 3rd inning, the Astros load the bases, but it's no runs, 1 hit, 3 men left. They lead it 6-1.
We go to the bottom of the 3rd, and it's time for greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. A couple of notes around Major League Baseball. Rich Hill, after that trade to the Los Angeles Dodgers, still trying to figure out that blister, get that thing healed up so he can go out there and make that Dodgers debut. Billy Hamilton, he's only got 26 stolen bases in the last 24 games since the All-Star break. Not too bad. And Rick Porcello picking up career win number 100. Not a bad feat for the 28-year-old.
He had some words with Chase Headley of the Yankees about something.
We'll get Julia on that.
Okay. It's warm. The fans are out. Here is Juan Centeno. And there's ball 1. This was supposed to be a beat the heat trip, guys.
Yeah, until you bragged about how nice the weather was on the first day.
Line drive to left field. That's in for a single for Centeno. Hit number 2 for the Twins.
Yeah, I think we put some of that heat and humidity on the airplane and brought it with us here to Minnesota. Very uncharacteristic. Good piece of hitting by Centeno.
We've been told that he hits the ball hard in the direction of the third baseman. He lined one right over Bregman. He's aboard for Robbie Grossman now. Robbie has hit a home run in this series against his former club. He takes in their strike one to Robbie. 266, 7 homers, 25 runs batted in for Grossman. He's walked 44 times. Fouls that one back, and it's 0-2 to Robbie. Pfister shooting for win number 11 of the year. Leads the Astros staff in victories.
Leads them in quality starts too.
Yeah. Up and in. 1-2. Grossman. Well,
I'm not sure if the umpire is going to give him that base.
He's
I
not.
didn't see Mark Wegner wave him down to first. Robbie trying to sell it.
No, he says put that
about
shin
Mark
guard back on.
See Mark Wegner. He goes, why don't you ask your manager if he wants to challenge it?
Paul Molitor's coming out now. Robbie was taking off the shin guard. Now he's talking with Molitor.
I don't think that was a hit by pitch. Let's see, maybe it got the jersey a little bit.
Robbie's talking with Mark Wegner about it. Mark Wegner didn't see it that way.
Tell you, you know what Paul Molitor would do? He'd be right back in that box ready to hit.
That's what Grossman's going to do. 1-2. And he gets a single through the left side. Bregman was shifted over toward shortstop, and now it's 2 hits to open the inning as Grossman adds a single after Centeno's hit.
It's got to be tough for Doug Pfister because the shift is on against Robbie Grossman, but there's so much tail on that fastball from Doug Pfister that sometimes all a left-handed hitter has to do is just reach out there, get the barrel on it, and redirect it to where nobody's standing.
And now Brian Dozier comes up with a couple of men on and nobody out. He struck out on a 3-2 count in the first inning. Joe Mauer's on deck. Twins are stirring up some trouble here. Tap slowly toward first. Marwin Gonzalez will take it, and it's out number 1. Centeno to third, Grossman to second. Joe Mauer grounded out to first himself. He's around for the second time now. Jose Barrios in 2 innings allowed 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned. He had 1 walk, 1 strikeout through 43 pitches, 29 for strikes. Bregman plays it even with the bag at third, well off the line for Mauer, who takes the curveball 1. There's some other day baseball. Arizona is pounding the Mets 9-0 in the top of the 6th inning at Citi Field. Pittsburgh 4-0 over San Diego, middle of the 5th. It's 2-0 to Mauer. Mauer very selective. He's among the top 10 in walks. He's drawn 64. And he has struck out only 72 times. That's a close one, and it goes Mauer's way. 3-0. Mauer's career average against the Astros is only .233 for 90 at bats. In for a strike over the outside edge. 3-1. Softly hit fly ball, and here comes the left fielder Tucker for it. Tucker with the catch at shallow left field. 2 outs. That's a big out for Pfister.
Yeah, that is a very big out. Joe Mauer, an accomplished professional hitter, got himself a breaking ball there in a 3-1 count. Maybe chased a little bit, knowing he wanted to drive in that run. Got off the end of the bat, not deep enough to score the runner from third.
Kepler, who popped to second earlier, leads American League rookies in homers with 15. Runs batted in with 49. Tyler Naquin is the rookie batting average leader right now. The Cleveland outfielder is hitting .311. Toward the left field line. That's in for a hit. That'll score 2. And here's the throw to second by Tucker. Not in time. 2-run double by Kepler. 6-3 now as the Twins come back. Kepler has driven in 51.
That is the co-player of the week with Joe Mauer recently. Max Kepler picking up his player of the week mate right here with a 2-out knock. And again, it doesn't look like the Twin hitters are trying to do all that much against Doug Pfister, just going with what Doug gives him on that outside corner.
Kenny Vargas ripped one to right for a home run. Down and in, ball 1. You have any particular fond memories of playing in doubleheaders, Plummer?
No, didn't play in too many in my career, because I was lucky enough to play for the Astros for 5 years. I was in Tampa Bay for a year, unfortunately, with the roof. San Diego for 3 years of my career. I think we actually had a rain out in one of the years, 2005 or 6, when I was with San Diego, but we made it up on an off day. You know what? I was talking to our producer about a doubleheader that I had to play in 1999. It was a day-night doubleheader in Colorado, and the reason we had to play it was because earlier in the season, the team was in Colorado when Columbine happened.
Oh yeah.
So that was a terrible event that led to one of those day-night doubleheaders that we had later in the year, and it was crazy because it was a 3-day trip to Colorado. So we basically played 5 games in 3 days. During that, we had a regular doubleheader and then a day-night doubleheader the next day.
You had to be gassed after that.
Yeah, it was tough, but it was a good place to hit.
But the physical experience of playing at altitude, especially for the guys who play the outfield like center fielder, that's got to really be an effect that stays with somebody for a while.
You know, it's crazy too. Those guys that play the outfield, think about how many laps they're running from their position to the dugout. That's the one that got me. I played outfield a couple times in my career, but running from the dugout to my position, and God forbid you have to lead off an inning and sprint off the field, get your stuff, and get out of there. Ooh.
Struck him out. A big one for Pfister ending the third. The Twins make it closer with 2 runs on 3 hits and leave a man. And we go to the 4th inning. The Astros are up 6-3. Astros after 3 over the Twins. Inside the Box score brought to you by Jack in the Box, showing you something about Astros road games. Jose Altuve now has been on base in 40 consecutive road games. That's third best in franchise history. Jeff Bagwell topped it with 52 and then 43.
I mean, seriously, with those numbers. I thought Altuve's been on an unbelievable stretch, and then Baggy 52. Come on.
He was always on base. Alex Bregman with strike one is 1 for 2 in RBI. 1-1. Bagwell had that great OPS, on base a lot. He slugged up there with the game's best. And out of respect for his slugging, he drew a lot of bases on balls. Foul back, 1-2. Certainly a different type hitter than Altuve. But Altuve's getting more like Bagwell, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to start driving the ball out of the ballpark a little bit more. But Bagwell, yeah, similarities, aggressive in the zone, but good discipline, able to take those walks.
Bregman works the count to 2-2 in this 6-3 game. He fouls it back. The Astros had a day-night doubleheader in Pittsburgh years ago when Billy Wagner was the closer. And Wags unfortunately gave up a game-winning grand slam to Brian Giles.
Oh, man, you have to remind me of these things, Brownie. I believe I was in that game.
Okay.
That was not good. How did Brian Giles continue to do that against Billy Wagner is what I want to know.
We never figured it out, and Wags never figured it out because he threw every pitch he had to Brian Giles, and Giles was right on everything.
It was amazing.
But Giles was a good hitter. There's one to left field. Bregman toward the corner. That one will bounce and go foul. He's just hit it barely foul. Well, it looked like that would be a fair ball coming off the bat.
Yeah, there's not much room down that left field line there.
Couldn't have missed by much.
Sure, we'll get a look at it right here. A couple feet.
Yeah, more than I thought. That one's out of our view once it gets in that corner, but it had a little tail on it apparently. Pfister and Hinch talking things over as Bregman tries to get a scoring inning started. And instead it's a strikeout for Tonkin. So Billy Wagner, of course, one of the great guys. He's a stand-up guy with a medium. And we had all this time after the day game. And Julia was talking about it. She will go down to the Astros clubhouse after this game, talk to AJ, talk to the players. For some reason, the Astros clubhouse was closed after that game. The media very unhappy they couldn't get in, but Billy Wagner was quite willing to talk.
He was not shy of a microphone.
No.
He was not shy of giving an opinion.
Nope.
Love that guy.
Yeah. One of the all-time faves. Altuve's 2 for 2, 2 runs batted in. 1-1. But that had to be a very long wait between games for Billy Wagner after that one. Altuve looks at that one, and it's 1-2 to Jose. Among active players, only Ichiro Suzuki and Albert Pujols have reached 1,000 career hits quicker than Altuve's going to do it. This time it's a strikeout. And that's number 2 for Tonkin.
Time now for our forward spray chart. Carlos Correa coming to the dish. Let's talk bombs. See where those home runs have gone for Carlos Correa. 3 to center, 5 to the opposite field for Carlos, and 8 of those home runs going to left field. Doing a good job of spraying and evenly distributing those home runs. That is a beautiful thing.
He's 0 for 2 in this one. There's strike 1 to Carlos. Carlos is 9th in the American League in runs batted in with 74. Marwin Gonzalez on deck. Tonka deals, and it's 0-2 very quickly. Colorado got a run in the top of the first at Texas. The Astros are 9 games out there in third place in the AL West. That's punched into right center field. In for a hit. Kepler over to play it on one bounce. Correa on, and he has a 6-game hitting streak now.
What, here in recent days, Carlos Correa is showing a pretty good ability just to get the barrel on it and flick it out in the outfield for a knock. Saw it the other day when he hit a double off the right field wall. Really didn't get that lower half into it. Used a lot of the upper body just like he did right there, but that was just a flick of the wrist for a knock.
Sure was. Marwin Gonzalez is 1 for 2. Preston Tucker on deck. That was hit number 9 for Houston. Strike 1 for Tonkin. Lucas Harrell is pitching today for Texas. The Rangers at home against the Rockies. They have Chad Bettis on the mound. Charlie Blackmon hit his 15th homer in the top of the first, leading off against Lucas Harrell. It's 0-2. Everything going exceptionally well for the Rangers right now.
Shaking that right hand. Someone he's been having issues with. Kept him out of the lineup a little bit.
Yeah, he had some inflammation in that area for a while, he said. Throw goes over to first on Correa, who's 10 for 13 in steals. The Twins have allowed 55 stolen bases this year, and they've caught only 14. That one bounces away from the catcher Centeno, and Correa easily advances on the wild pitch. One ball, 2 strikes to Marwin. Well, the Rangers currently lead Seattle by 7 games, Blummer, in the AL West.
Yeah, Seattle's got a pretty comfortable schedule throughout the rest of the season, too.
Mariners have won 6 in a row, and the Rangers have won 5 in a row. Outside for ball 2. Twins are in the midst of a homestand. They will welcome Kansas City next. A strikeout, and Tonkin had 3 of those in the 4th inning. No runs, a hit, and a man left. Astros lead it 6-3.
Create memories, have fun, and enjoy a premium experience with an Astros luxury suite at Minute Maid Park. Whether you're treating employees, hosting clients, or celebrating a special occasion, we'll create an experience your group is sure to remember. Visit astros.com/suites or call 1-877-9-ASTROS to reserve your luxury suite today.
Rosario hits a bouncer, and first baseman Marwin Gonzalez takes care of it. A one-pitch out number one here in the home fourth inning for Doug Fister. Nice to get back home Tuesday and Wednesday, but don't blink. Homestand is too quick. Cardinals are in. Polanco hit a fly ball to right field in the second inning. It is a night game, day game on the homestand with St. Louis. We're going to check on that, though. That's ball one. Blummer gets to come back and do those two games. Yeah, 7:10 Tuesday night, 1:10 Wednesday afternoon. Then you guys take off for Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
Did you just say a day game getaway day?
That's it.
Huh.
You love those.
Baseball gods are shining on us.
Yes, sir. 1-1. You will be eating crab cakes in Baltimore that night.
Oh,
on the harbor.
There's a real good chance of that, Brownie.
Line into left center field. Polanco is on with hit number 5 for Minnesota.
It's a pretty good swing. Not trying to do too much, and again, it's a pretty good changeup waiting back on it by Polanco. Tell you what, there's a serious youth movement going on between these two teams.
Yeah, the Astros have 9 rookies now on the roster. Twins are a young club. Escobar looks at ball one. Infield shifts around, playing him to pull. He struck out looking first time up. And that one goes into left center field. Well, that's that hitting approach you talked about. And it's working for the Twins, taking those pitches away to the opposite field. Works for Escobar.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it's a pretty good approach by these Minnesota Twins. We talked about the average against Doug Fister coming into this game for left-handed hitters was .285, and today you're not seeing these guys trying to do too much. Kenny Vargas got that hanging slider that he hammered out of the ballpark, but for the most part, these guys are sitting on that outer third, and Fister's giving it to them. They're just going with it.
Centeno went with it. He lined a hit over the third baseman Bregman, his first time up, and later scored. Ball one. We'll see how the approach may change here for Castro and Fister, with the hitters taking so many balls the other way. They try to come inside more.
Well, we saw a couple of at-bats where Fister was able to get ahead, and once he got to that 2-strike count, that's when he tried to throw that fastball inside and bring it back over that inner third.
Double play ball. Correa tossing. Altuve middleman. Well done. That ends the fourth inning with no runs, 2 hits. The Astros get double play number 102 of the year, and through 4 they lead it 6-3. Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa home run to Houston Children's Charity. And by HEB. No store does more than my HEB. Pitcher number 3 on the mound today on this warm, muggy day in the Twin Cities. The Astros lead at 6-3 going to the 5th inning. Tonkin out of the game now. And in comes the left-hander Buddy Boshears. The Astros have banged out 9 hits so far. Boshears 2-0 with a 3.86.
And Boshears has made an appearance in this series. Young left-hander. He's got a 2.25 ERA in his last 12 innings. Only 2 walks, 11 punch-outs.
It will be lefty on lefty as he begins, and then another lefty hitter on deck in A.J. Reed with Tucker leading it off. Preston 0 for 1 with a walk. Bounces that one by the mound. Here's the second baseman Dozier hurrying and just got him.
Nice play by Dozier coming in on that slowly hit ground ball. Tucker hustling, makes it close.
A.J. Reed singled and scored in the 2nd inning. He flied to center in the 3rd. He looks hit ball 1. Michael Tonkin in 2 innings allowed 1 hit, no runs, had 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Through 33 pitches, 21 for strikes. Reed takes that one, and it's ball 2 to A.J. A.J. said he did some DHing at college, University of Kentucky. It's 3-0. As you probably know already, he was the Friday night pitcher for the Kentucky Wildcats. Has an excellent arm, but also swung the bat exceptionally well to the tune of a 2nd round draft choice. He looks at a 4-pitch walk. That's number 3 for Twins pitching in this game. And Marisnick will follow. Marisnick hit a triple off Boshears Tuesday night here. Jake is 0 for 2 in this one. He's seen 3 pitches so far. Smoked a line drive to center field in the 2nd. Actually, he's seen 2 pitches. He hit the first pitch both times. He bunts out in front of the plate. Centeno throws to 2nd and throws it into center field. Reed will hold at second base. Centeno was rushing, didn't really have his good footwork, and he threw it off balance and behind Escobar.
Tell you what, that's 2 times that Centeno's had an opportunity to make a throw and it's turned into an error. This one bunted out in front. Not a great bunt, but I'm not sure if the choice was to throw on the run to second base to try and get A.J. Reed. When an out is presented to you, you go ahead and take it.
Yeah.
And I think the out might have been at first base if you set your feet and throw Jake out.
Yeah, especially with 1 out in the inning already. So now it's Jason Castro batting with runners at 1st and 2nd. Still waiting a ruling on that last play. There's ball 1. There's only 1 error up on the scoreboard, but that should have been number 2 of the day. Out into right center field for Castro. Reed will be stopped at 3rd base by Gary Pettis. The throw is cut off. And Castro has been on all 3 times today. 2 singles and a walk now for Jason.
Nice piece of hitting. Could have gotten big and tried to drive that ball out of the ballpark, but instead just keeps the train moving right now. And again, good things happen when you have base runners on and you turn this lineup over.
George Springer has quite a day going with 2 hits and 3 at bats, a single and a double. He's driven in 2 and he scored 2. That's ball 1 to George. The official scorer has ruled fielder's choice on Marisnik. Reed to second base. No error by Centeno. Bregman's on deck. Bo Shears is from Huntsville, Alabama. Went to Calhoun Community College. Outside, and it's 2-0. This Minnesota bullpen has a 4.23 ERA. That's 13th in the American League. Looks at it. That is in for a strike. 2-1.
Borderline right there. Be nice for the Astros to put a couple runs on here. Answer back to what Twins have done in that 3rd inning.
It was borderline.
Man.
Yeah, they really have a chance to give Fister some working room here if Springer comes through. George fouls it. 2-2. Rockies rookie David Dahl got a hit against the Rangers in the early going. He has a career opening hitting streak of 17 games, tying the major league record set in 1941 by Chuck Alano.
Nice way to make a debut.
Yes. Inside, that one hit Springer, forcing in a run to make it 7-3 Houston. George's 3rd RBI of the game, 65th of the year.
Well, I've heard about back knee sliders, but that's taking it a little too far.
That's the 8th time Springer's been drilled this year. Now Alex Bregman. Bregman with an RBI double and 2 strikeouts today. Line drive out to Kepler in right. Kepler with the catch. Here's the tag at 3rd. Marisnik waltzes home. Sacrifice fly. And run number 8 is across the plate.
Very nice piece of hitting. Houston Methodist brings us our league leaders. 4+ hit games this season. How about Eduardo Nunez, ex-Minnesota Twin, traded to the San Francisco Giants? Of course, you're going to see I'll tell you what, those 2 Venezuelans right there between Altuve and Pereira are going to consistently be on this list for 4+ hit games. They know how to get those knocks.
True. There's a chance for a 3-hit game right here for Altuve. He looks at ball 1. Altuve has 2 hits and 3 at bats, 2 runs batted in, a single and a double for Jose. He is 2nd in the league in total bases. Jose looks at that one, and it's even at 1-1.
Ooh.
He's hitting .429 on the road in 52 road games this year. 2-1. His OPS on the road is 1131. It's not close, and it's 3-1 to Jose, who has walked some 48 times this year, 50 strikeouts for Altuve. He's had 443 at bats this season. That's hit hard into left center field. Castro coming home to score to make it 9-3. Another RBI single for Altuve, his third run batted in of the game. He is 3 for 4, 71 runs batted in this season for Altuve.
Boring. It's not, I mean, how many guys have you broadcast and talked about where you can actually anticipate a guy getting a hit?
Yeah, he's just in another category right now.
Yeah, this is incredible.
He is just an absolute hitting machine.
And for all those wondering, because apparently a lot of people are, that is hit 992.
Yes.
For Jose Altuve. Write it down and keep track, because he's going to get some more.
A.J. Hinch might have to bench him in Toronto so he can get number 1,000 at home.
How would that go over?
Not real well.
Marketing department would love it, but I'm not sure A.J. Hinch would.
No, that's not going to happen. Carlos Correa is 1 for 3. It's a little different, like when Craig Biggio was closing in on 3,000, and he didn't play one of those games in Milwaukee before they came home, and he did it at home the first night of that homestand. It's a little different for number 1,000. There's ball 1.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that.
But you hate to take anything for granted, of course. Every day is a gift, but do you get the feeling that maybe you might be seeing number 3,000 sometime if you're fortunate enough to live that long?
At this rate, yeah.
Yeah. Out to center field. Rosario way back. That ball is into the area above the center field wall. That's a 3-run homer for Carlos Correa, number 17 of the year. That's 77 runs batted in for Correa, and this game is sliced wide open.
Wow. Wow.
12-3. Just kept carrying.
Man, talk about a team taking full advantage of a rainout. My goodness. Elevated fastball at 92 and just lay into it, young man. It was a line drive too, Brownie. That ball wasn't elevated all that much.
No, that's why we couldn't tell
wow.
how hard it was hit till the last moment when it went way over Rosario's head. It's a 6-run inning. 12 runs on 12 hits. That's the first homer of the day for an Astro. And that's odd for them because they're usually very dependent on home runs for their runs. 1-1. Marwin Gonzalez 1 for 3. He hits one hard. That goes through into left field, and he now gets his second hit of the game.
Pretty glad I got this headset on right now because it is loud. Some big time swings going on right now.
Just squaring balls up. And it's a real dilemma, of course, for Paul Molitor with another game to come tonight in this day-night doubleheader. Trying to avoid blowing up his bullpen in game 1.
That's the conversation he's having right now. He's, what is going on and what do I do now?
Yeah.
Because there is not too many guys in that bullpen right now that are going to get Astro hitters out.
Preston Tucker takes a look at it. There's ball 1 to him. Preston 0 for 2 with a walk. A.J. Reed's on deck. Shortstop goes out for it. Escobar in the shallow center, but Rosario coming in has the easier play. And the Astros send 10 to the plate in the 5th inning. They score 6 runs on 4 hits, and they lead it now 12-3.
12-3 Astros out in front. Time to announce the winner of our Chevy Stroh poll. We're talking about Altuve and all of his hits. He has 3 today. We asked you, when is he going to get number 1,000? He's 8 away now. I think when we asked this, he needed 9 at the time. Oh, it went away. Sorry, God. I didn't really get to go through those.
They stole it.
There they are. 36%. Tuesday, St. Louis Cardinals at home. Okay. I don't know.
I was going to say.
That's a few games from now.
That's rolled up the line at third by Robbie Grossman. Just a foul ball. And no balls, 2 strikes.
And the way he's going, he's going to get another 2 or 3 hits on the airplane. Kidding me with this guy?
This is just a show. Talking with Gary Pettis, the Astros third base coach, before the game tonight. Just saying, for today we've run out of superlatives here.
Yeah, it's too much. And you know what? Just got a tweet. I believe it's Jorge Martinez.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out nicknames. I'm not sure if there is one out there for Altuve, but the Cyborg might be a good one because the kid's an absolute machine. The way he goes out there on a daily basis and just cranks out hits.
1-2. And thanks to some of our friends on Twitter who have been doing some research, the record for most hits in a doubleheader is 9. It's been done 9 times, Ryan Nolte tells us on Twitter. 2-2. And Daniel Halevi also did some fine work of research. Jose Altuve has had hits against 99 different pitchers this year, according to him. Does that sound right? Sounds like a lot. He moves to his right, backhands, jump throw, 1 hop. Marwin Gonzalez out.
Whatever. Get hits, make web gems, whatever. Way to go, guy.
Just an incredible show from Altuve today.
Unbelievable. He's just showing off now. Yeah, go ahead and hashtag your Altuve for MVP. It's great to put up offensive numbers, but you're still going out there and playing defense like that. Wow.
I guess that's the point we really need to make about him. Dozier's 0 for 2. You've seen numbers, and the numbers keep coming at you, and they do register. What he's doing is phenomenal. But when you see him in the clubhouse, and if he gets 3 hits and the team loses, he's not a happy guy.
No, I think we've seen it here in recent weeks. You know, even with the ejection, but some of the situations he's had to handle, and now with the young clubhouse, he is a team leader in the sense that he goes out there on a daily basis, much like a Jeff Bagwell did. Didn't have to hoot and holler and rally guys to go play. He just led by example. But I think here in the last couple of weeks, you've really gotten an opportunity for everybody at home who's watching these games. He's turning into a leader on the field vocally. I think it's a great thing.
Yes, he is. Sometimes he comes in, talks to pitchers. And conversely, with the earlier statement, if he comes in and he's gone 0 for 4 in a game and the team wins, he's a very happy camper in that clubhouse. Three balls, 2 strikes.
Can we talk about the discounted contract he's under too, by the way? Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Enjoy it while you can.
Exactly.
Oh man, that was a good pitch.
Dozier didn't like it, and it's ball 4.
Tell you
Missed
what.
by that much, though.
Yeah, I don't think it missed by much either. We've seen some pitches off the edge with Mark Wegner behind the plate. That one a little excessive for Mark, but again, I wouldn't mind seeing that doubleheader strike zone with an 8-run or 9-run lead. I apologize. Kind of open up a little bit, force these guys to swing, put the ball in play. Don't let them walk their way on.
Joe Mauer is 0 for 2. 13 hits for the Astros, 6 for the Twins. Ball 1 to Mauer. We're getting a lot of questions from people. Is this a restart of last night's game?
Oh man, I hope they're listening to you right now, Brownie.
Or is that the one that's going to be played tonight?
Does it matter?
I didn't know it did. 2-0, but people are confused. No, this is the originally scheduled game for today. The makeup game will be tonight, but
it will be a full game because last night never happened.
No, it went away.
They canceled it. The stats don't count.
No.
Keuchel gets his ERA back. Dozier doesn't get a home run. Brand new game tonight.
What are you going to do between games?
Nap. Oh.
You know,
there's probably a good chance I'm going to eat something, Brownie.
Okay.
Quite a bit of it.
Well, over a period of 8 hours.
Yeah.
You're entitled. That's a normal thing to do. You know, there's some good shopping downtown Minneapolis.
Let's go. Show me the way, Brownie. You've done some here in the recent days, haven't you?
Yeah. We could hop a train and go to the Mall of the Americas.
Oh my.
Strike 3-2. Julia was kind of eyeing a shoe store the other day.
Hey.
I do that every day. Always eyeing shoe stores.
Yeah, there's always an opening.
How do you find this city, Julia?
I love this city. This is a great city to walk around. I went and found the Mary Tyler Moore statue the other day.
Oh, yeah. Strike 3, and Mauer is caught looking. He is really disgusted at that Mark Wagner call. Strikeout number 5 for Pfister.
Oh, he's going to go back and look at the replay. He might be mad at himself. Entire baseball within our strike zone. Good pitch by Doug.
Kepler with strike 1. That's a 2-run double in the 3rd inning. 1 for 2. So in order to have the separate admission games, there has to be time between the games. Pfister comes over, tosses to Marwin. That ends the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, and a man left through 5. It is 12-3 Astros.
Looking for the perfect location for your special event? Minute Maid Park provides elegant event spaces and high-end entertainment in one of Houston's most iconic sporting venues. Learn more about how you can have your special event at Minute Maid Park calling 713-259-8800 or by visiting astros.com/special events. Hey, Brownie, you asked me about this city. I have to mention how wonderful this place is to run in.
Okay.
I even caught Blummer doing a light jog.
No.
I wouldn't call it running, but I did.
Yeah, you totally ripped me. I was hurt. I actually developed a sweat. I perspired.
I told you to pick up the pace. No,
Yeah.
but there's, by the river, some great trails and really, really pretty. scenic trails, I guess you could call them.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that football stadium?
The spaceship?
Yeah.
A.J. Reed with a single through the left side, and he's 2 for 3 now with a walk. Yeah, you put it a good way. You caught Blummer jogging.
Yeah, and you know how rare that is?
I was proud of you, though.
Oh, try.
Get him out there. We did see it's the Vikings' new football stadium.
Yeah.
It's strange.
It's interesting.
Interesting's a good word.
It's futuristic, Julia.
I got to see the inside of it because the outside doesn't scream NFL football stadium. Football stadium.
No, it doesn't. There's strike one to Jake Marisnick. He is 0 for 3 in this game. Has scored a run. Well, that stadium's going to begin to be used here in a few weeks for the exhibition season. They're giving tours of it now. Bounce to third. Polanco and Dozier safe at first. Out number 1 on Reed goes from 5 to 4. Marisnick aboard for Castro. So maybe we could do that between games. Take a tour.
There we go.
It's U.S. Bank Stadium, correct?
It is.
Okay. Castro's had a nice day of it. 2 singles and a walk, 2 runs scored for Jason today. Astros have out hit the Twins 14-6, and they lead 12-3. Foul ball. There's strike one. This is only the 10th doubleheader in Major League Baseball this season. Of the 9, 4 have resulted in sweeps, including 3 by the home team. And after this one, there are only 3 remaining on the Major League schedule. More could happen if there are postponements. That's on through into right field for Castro, and his 3rd hit. And 4th straight time Jason has reached base in this game.
Tell you what, this entire batting order is doing a very good job. Bottom part of the order, getting on base. It's led to some big numbers for the guys hitting behind him, but a hanging breaking ball and another base hit off Boshears. But Jason Castro doing a good job, showing a good stroke.
15 hits for the Astros. Molitor's on his way to the mound. Pitcher number 4 will be coming in for the Twins. The Astros doing some damage against this Minnesota bullpen, and that may carry over to the night game. Game 2 of this doubleheader. It's 12-3 Houston. Back in a moment. You have a lot of action to review as far as the Astros offensively. 2 hits for Springer and so on down the line. Altuve with 3 hits already, and just everybody has contributed to it. Tucker has drawn a walk. Marisnick has scored a run, so even though they're not in the hit column,
They're part of this big offensive explosion for the Astros in game 1 of a day-night doubleheader. Pitcher number 4 comes in for Paul Molitor, and he is Rice University product, JT Chagwa. Chagwa from Sulphur, Louisiana, is 6'3" and 200. He's 25 years old. Second-round pick from Rice in the 2012 draft. George Springer faces him. George is driven in 3, and that's ball 1. Boshears left the game after an inning and a third. Chagwa trying to pick him up here, inheriting these 2 runners.
Some life in that arm. First pitch, 97 miles an hour.
Slowly hit to the left side. Here's Polanco charging and throwing out Springer. Runners move along to second and third on the ground out for out number 2. Alex Bregman is the batter. Chagwa was a pitcher and a switch hitting shortstop in high school at League City, and then at Rice University he served as a DH, a first baseman, and a relief pitcher. He missed some time in 2013 with a right forearm strain. Foul, and this will go out of play. Alex Bregman has a double and 2 runs batted in this game. Chagwa made his major league debut this June 11th against Boston and just came up yesterday for his second major league stint of the year. Ground ball to third. Polanco with the throw. And in the 6th inning for Houston, no runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. The Astros lead it 12-3.
The bottom of the 6th at Target Field. 2016 Coca-Cola Astros Buddies memberships are on sale now for only $25. Buddies members get a voucher for 4 tickets to a select Astros game, front of the line access to Kids Run the Bases, exclusive player autograph sessions, and more. Visit astros.com/buddies for all the details and to purchase a membership for kids up to 12 years old. Brownie.
Thanks, Julia. Kenny Vargas leads it off. It's 12-3 Astros. There's ball 1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Vargas ripped a home run off Doug Fister in the 2nd. He struck out looking in the 3rd. Fister has allowed 6 hits through 5. Infield has shifted around for this big power hitter. It's 2-0. We're going to have to work with our pal here, Julia Blummer, to get him to conserve his energy a little bit.
A little too excited, huh?
He's going hard through game 1.
Sorry.
No, never apologize. That is going to hang up there for a few seconds like a Ray Guy punt. 1 out. That shows you the power. You know, We've read stories about scouts looking at hang time on balls like that as an indication of a hitter's power. Do you buy into that in terms of bat speed?
Well, that's great, but it's an out.
Yeah.
So there is potential there, but maybe that's something they can work with and try and create a better hitter. But the bat speed's there. That's always the common denominator for scouts to say there's potential.
Yeah, but if you do all of your hitting in an elevator chute, it doesn't amount to much, as you say.
Yeah, that makes it tough.
Strike one to Rosario. Yeah, trajectory is very big. 1 ball and 1 strike. Those pop-ups really don't amount to much of a meal ticket, do they?
Well, here you go. So Carlos Correa's home run was 109 miles an hour off the bat. That pop-up right there from Vargas, 108 miles an hour off the bat.
Okay.
So that goes into your theory of the bat speed and exit velocities that a lot of teams are looking at now. But again, it's just that trajectory.
Right, and Vargas was hitting tape measure shots in batting practice the other day. But we've all seen these 5 o'clock hitters, as they call them. Right?
That is not a label you want.
No. You knew a few of those guys.
Yeah, and actually Joey Gallo's getting some of that notoriety because he does have a great amount of pop. But he got the I read an article about him, and somebody labeled him the next Russell Branyan.
Okay.
Low, very low average, but very strong.
Yeah, the term 5 o'clock hitter means a guy who crushes the ball in batting practice against what, a 70-mile-per-hour pitch.
Yeah, because there's really not too many games that start at 5 o'clock. You want to be that 7 o'clock hitter like Jose Altuve.
Now, if you were a 5 o'clock hitter, would you go to your club and try to lobby them for 5 o'clock start times?
Yeah, you better be pretty good at 5 o'clock to do that.
Back in center, here's Marisnick. What a play by Jake Marisnick. Ran right to that spot where he stuck up his glove and caught it for out number 2.
Yep, he's good. Gets a great jump. Great jump, good first step. Center cut fastball hit well. That'll be a good look at it. What I love about Jake is no matter where the ball is hit, right to his right or to his left, if it's over his head, if it's in front of him, he always takes that first step at like a 45-degree angle in the direction of the baseball.
He does. It's incredible. Now Polanco looks at strike one. I asked him about that a few days ago. Where'd you get that training for going after fly balls? Your shoulders always are turned the right way. He said probably if you're playing safety in football. Fly ball out to right field. Here comes Springer for it. And that's a quick 6th inning. Doug Fister and the Astros have a 12-3 lead over the Twins.
The Minnesota Twins and Academy Sports and Outdoors and the Houston Astros are hitting home runs for Houston. Carlos Correa has a home run on the day, but he set the record for rookie season home runs In 2015 with those 22, beat out Lance Berkman by 1. Glenn Davis, who was back in Houston for that Legends weekend, celebrating that 86 team, did it as a rookie in 1985 with 20. Springer had 20, and Hunter Pence in 2007 had 17.
12-3 lead for the Astros. Jose Altuve has 3 hits. Here's ball 1. And 3 runs batted in for Jose. We're getting suggested nicknames on Twitter for him. El Torito, El Tejon, MVP, things like that. Hit number 4 of the day.
Son of a gun, this guy, man.
This is unbelievable. 7 hits away from 1,000.
What is that? Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? He had a day off and now he's got 7 hits or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you bring up a good point. He was 4 for 4 Tuesday night, and he's now 4 for 5, so he's 9 for his last 10. And Carlos Correa is the batter. He ripped a long home run, a 3-run. We have a pinch hitter now, Tony Kemp, for Correa. So that's a good idea here in a 12-3 game to get these guys who figure to be starting in game 2 out of the lineup right now. And Kemp is filling in. Kemp fouls it away. No balls, 2 strikes. Tony's been in the lineup. He started last night and the night before. He went 1 for 4 in the Tuesday game. And then Monday he was a starter, went 0 for 3 with a walk, scored a run, came off the bench Sunday, got 3 hits. And he's getting his opportunity now, and that's a strikeout looking. Altuve now has 20 career 4-hit games. He has 8 this season.
what next? Go ahead and get that 5-hit game out of the way, would you?
Yeah.
It's the only thing he hasn't done.
Marwin Gonzalez looks at ball 1. Marwin has a couple of hits today. The Astros have 16 hits. Julia's going to have some good interviews on the post-game show after this one. Two balls, no strikes.
I wonder if we'll have anything to talk about in the pregame for the second game.
And we might be able to find something.
Just sit back and play Jose Altuve highlights.
Yeah.
That could take a while.
Well, the Astros high for runs in a game this year, 16 against the Twins at Minute Maid, May 4th. You might give that a run. There's another hit. That's number 3 for Gonzalez in this game. Altuve at his second base. Preston Tucker will follow.
Astros are putting up doubleheader numbers in the first game.
They sure are. At 17 hits, and that is their single game high for this season. They had 16 twice, the last time at Kansas City, June 25th. Tucker 0 for 3 with a walk. That's ball 1 to him. I had a question earlier about what's the major league record for most hits in one day. Well, we said earlier it was 9 in a doubleheader.
Brandon Crawford got 7 in one game.
He sure did.
Granted, it was extra innings, but still 7 hits.
Yeah. Popped up to shallow left. Polanco back. Infield fly is called, but that's if fair. It's a foul ball. And it's out number 2. So the infield fly rule does not apply if the ball is foul. If it's fair, it's an automatic out. So Crawford had a meeting with Rennie Stennett. Did you see that in Miami? Giants are in Miami. Rennie Stennett was the last player to get 7 hits in a game. That was in 1975. He lives in the Miami area. He dropped by and met Brandon Crawford. Yeah.
Oh, Rennie.
Crazy.
Stopping by. It's good news.
A.J. Reed has joined the 17 hit attack. He has 2 singles and a walk. Has scored 2 runs. Rennie was with the Pirates at the time. Dozier to his right. Takes the third out at first. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. Middle of the 7th inning, 12-3 Astros.
Authority of Houston Astros, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
It's 12-3, and A.J. Hinch has made some changes. And we'll check those as we go along through the bottom of the 7th inning here with the big Astros 12-3 lead. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and Escobar's the batter. He's 1 for 2. Line drive, center field. Alex Bregman tried to flag it down. He has moved from third base to play shortstop now. Carlos Correa left for the pinch hitter Tony Kemp. There's Tyler White now playing first base. Marwin Gonzalez has moved across the diamond to play third, with Correa coming out of the game. And Tony Kemp in left field now. Preston Tucker is in right, getting George Springer a few innings off. An indication we'll see him in game 2 tonight. Juan Santana is 1 for 2. There's ball 1. I think it's an important opportunity AJ is taking here to get George off his feet for just a few innings. It may not sound like a whole lot, but potentially 9 more innings, or who knows, even more coming up tonight. There's Bregman tossing, and Altuve, the middleman, on a 6-4-3 double play. It's the first we've seen of Bregman at short with the Astros since he was promoted from AAA Fresno, but that's his natural position.
That was hit pretty well. Bregman looking natural over there at shortstop, working well with Jose Altuve. Appreciate the speed up ground ball from Centeno.
Robbie Grossman is the batter. He's 1 for 2. Altuve made an excellent play to get him in the 5th. Grounder off the mound goes out to Bregman, and that is a quick 7th inning for Pfister. 12-3 Astros. one of a day-night doubleheader. Take their 9-run lead to the 8th inning against the Minnesota Twins. Jake Marisnick in the box. He's hitless today, but has scored a run. Marisnick looks at ball 1, down and in. Jason Castro's on deck. And the leadoff spot will come up third. That's now occupied by Tyler White, the first baseman. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Tony Kemp is in the cleanup spot now. Blummer, you've been doing your research on doubleheaders.
Yeah, found a crazy stat.
What did you find?
There are pitchers that have 2 complete game victories in one day.
How far back?
Last guy to do it was in 1926, Dutch Levson. But I was surprised to see 10 pitchers had done that.
Yeah. Were they all before that?
Yeah, 1905, 05, 06, 08, 08.
Okay.
1914, 1916, 1918, 1924, and 1926 was the last time it happened. Complete game, 9-inning complete game, 1 run given up in the first game. In the second game, 9 innings, 1 run given up. So 18 innings and 2 earned runs. 2 victories.
Wilbur Wood, I know, started both ends of a doubleheader when he was a knuckleball pitcher. I believe at the time he was with the White Sox.
It's incredible.
But yeah, that's not something you're ever going to see that often in the rest of your life, right?
Yeah, not in this day and age.
Probably not at all. There's ball 4 to Marisnick, a leadoff walk to Jake. It's his 9th walk of the year. 4th walk for Twins pitching. Castro comes up. He's been on all 4 times, 3 singles and a walk. Let's see what Jose Altuve's updated batting average is. 366. Hey, you've been laughing most of the day.
Oh man.
Goes your backhands. There's the flip. Escobar, 4-6-3 double play. .366.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not laughing. I just in awe, literally, of what he's doing.
The quickest Astro in history to reach the 1,000 hit mark was Cesar Cedeno. It took him 889 games to get his 1,000th hit in the big leagues. Altuve's playing his 781st game. So if he gets a few more hits, he's going to reach 1,000 hits about 100 games earlier than Cedeno did. Somewhere in that area.
100?
100 games earlier.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Gotta get a new media guide because of that guy.
Tyler White. Yeah, he is rewriting some things, isn't he? 2-0 to Tyler. First time up today. 207, 7 homers, 22 runs batted in, 193 at bats.
The most hits by one player in a doubleheader is 9. 9 times. You talked about that already.
There's a liner to left. Grossman with the grab. Well, Altuve is 2 to bat again in the 9th inning of this game. 12-3 Astros. Presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Whataburger. Get your day started at Whataburger with a jalapeno cheddar biscuit. And by Lexus, the new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. The Twin Cities in Minnesota. It's 12-3. The Astros lead it. Game 1 of a day-night doubleheader. Doug Fister goes to the bottom of the 8th inning, working to Brian Dozier, and that's ball 1 to Dozier. Dozier's 0 for 2 with a walk. Fister going deep into this one, really saving the bullpen for the night game. 2-0. He still hasn't reached 100 pitches yet. 94 so far for Doug. Gets a swing, and it's 2-1. Fister's walked 1 and fanned 5 in his 7 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. It's 3 balls and a strike. Chris Davinsky will be the starter in game 2. A 6:10 start tonight. Lefty Tommy Malone will get the Twins start. There's a walk to Dozier. It's number 2 for Fister in the game. Joe Mauer is 0 for 3. And there's some bullpen action with Tony Sipp for the Astros. Lefty Kevin Chapman will be added to the Astros roster for the night game as the 26th man for a doubleheader. But he is not available for this game. There's strike 1. As you mentioned earlier, same thing of course for the Twins. They did not have their 26th man available for this game, and it might have really worked out in their favor to be able to use him as the game evolved, but those are the rules. One ball, 1 strike.
Twins bullpen's getting burned out right now.
Yeah, they've used 4 pitchers. Tonkin and Boshier is pretty well burned for the night game. They threw 33 and 32 pitches. Deep drive to left. Tony Kemp back, leaping at the wall. It's off the padding, played by Marisnik. And that's a double for Mauer, sending Dozier to third base. Good effort by Kemp.
Pretty good effort, but again, Joe Mauer loves going the opposite field. Got himself a changeup right here, stayed on it, drove it that way. Tony Kemp giving it a great effort. Just glad to see him bounce back a little bit right here, not be injured with this doubleheader.
Fister is going to leave this ball game. The infielders meet, and Tony Kemp did give it a good effort. Now Tony Sipp is coming in for the bullpen with a score 12-3. Back at home. lot of offense. Starting pitcher goes deep into the game, and he's able to use his bullpen advantageously to save the guys he really wants in case it's a tight game in game 2 of the doubleheader tonight. Plummer.
That is true. Doug Fister gave it his best effort, doing a great job holding down this Twins ball club. Just gave up a couple of singles at big bomb to Vargas, but still kept his team in it, trying to save that bullpen a little bit. It's going to be Tony Sipp coming into this ball game now. Left-handers getting roughed up a little bit. That whip well over 1.5, but just looking to survive and get out of this game as quickly as possible.
Max Kepler, the batter, runners at second and third with nobody out. Kepler puts one in the air toward the right field line. Tyler White looking up, and Tucker coming over. Tucker with the catch. Here's the tag at third. Dozier coming to the plate, and he scores. Throw to third base, not in time there. Sac fly for Kepler, a 12-4 game now. Kepler gets his third RBI of the day, 52nd of the year.
Pretty good play by Tucker, playing some right field. Might have a chance to play out there in that second game today. But again, just get the outs.
Yeah, you might see Springer DHing tonight. Not sure about that. Now Vargas, having the advantage of being a switch hitter, just moves around to the other side of the plate. He hit a home run in the second inning batting left against Fister. He's 1 for 3. Ball 1 to Vargas. As a right-handed hitter, he's 8 for 16 with 2 homers. Takes that from Sipp, and it's 1-1. Fister in 7 innings so far, allowing 8 hits and 4 runs. Walked 2 and fanned 5 through 101 pitches, 59 for strikes. Vargas takes a look at it for ball 2. Luke Gregerson is about to come off the disabled list, and that could happen. The Astros get to Toronto as early as tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see what develops on it. Swing by Vargas, and it's a 2-2 count. The Astros will welcome him back into the bullpen mix because Ken Giles, it seems, is about to leave the club on paternity leave.
Just score 12 runs a game. You don't have to worry about those things.
True. That's a deep drive left center field, and Vargas has hit homers from both sides of the plate in this game. That's number 6 of the year. Big swing of the bat for Kenny Vargas. Home run number 6 of the year. He's driven in 3 to give him 13 runs batted in. And now it's 12-6.
Slider down, right back into the barrel of Vargas. It's a pretty good accomplishment for a switch hitter to hit a home run from each side of the plate.
Eddie Rosario is 0 for 3. Yeah, it really is. As you well know, because you were a switch hitter, a lot of guys are just so much more powerful from one side of the plate.
That's interesting. You're not sure how many guys are natural right-handed hitters and opted for that left-handed side to create more opportunities, but as a switch hitter, when you do that, it's a pretty special moment.
How many times did you do it?
You know what? I want to say 3 times, 2 or 3 times. My claim to fame was being able to do it in one time in each league.
Nice.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
3-0. Closing the book on Fister, 7 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs. We're going to have to check that. I think it's 5 runs. That is a strike, and it's 3-1. Yeah, 7 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 101 pitches, 59 were strikes. And he's in line for win number 11 of the year. 3 players moving in that direction. Alex Bregman shading his lot, and now he's going to let it go for Kemp behind him. And that's a good idea. Like Alex might have been fighting that one a little bit. 2 outs. Another switch hitter Polanco comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3 in this game. Win number 59. Looking very good for the Astros right here with a 6-run lead. 2 outs in the 8th inning. It would be 4 games above 500 if they nail this one down. Ball 1. Seattle has won 60 games and lost 53. Texas currently trails at home against Colorado 6-3. They're in the top of the 4th inning. It's 2-0. It's 3 balls, no strikes. Altuve is due up second in the 9th inning. George Springer was the last Astro to get 5 hits in a game, June 10th, 2015. 3 balls and a strike. Club record for hits in a game is 6 by Joe Morgan, July 8th, 1965, in a 12-inning game at Milwaukee. Three balls, 2 strikes. Sip gave up a homer to Jonathan Lucroy of Texas in his last outing. All the way, and it's still a full count. That's 9 home runs allowed by Sip in 30 and 3rd innings. Milwaukee 5, Atlanta nothing. They're in the bottom of the 4th at Miller Park. That's roped to left field. Kemp over. Hit number 2 of the day for Polanco. And Escobar will be next. Escobar is 2 for 3. Brent Strom's coming out.
This is not a good conversation. Tony Sip just trying to pitch himself back into a better mood. Not happening right here. Minnesota Twins having some pretty good at-bats against him. That 3-2 count right there for Polanco. Fouled off a fastball down, got one elevated, got the hit out of it. Just trying to find a way to get Tony Sip back in that groove we saw last year.
Questions about what time game 2 of this doubleheader starts. It starts at 6:10. It will start from the first pitch, not at 5-0. That's where last night's game ended, but that did not count. Wipe it out of your memory. Move on. 1-0. Getting a lot of questions about this today. It was a postponement. 1 ball, 1 strike. We just haven't had many, have we?
Yeah, it was just straight, just eraser. That was the eraser game. You know, we need the, gosh, what was that thing in the Men in Black?
Oh, yeah.
They put it up and just erase your memory instantly. We need to do that.
Right.
Like it never happened.
Nope. 2-1. And Chris Davinsky will be making the start. He was in the rotation back in May. It'll be his 5th start of the year. Escobar out in front of it. Goes to a 2-2 count. They changed the rules on suspended games. That's not what the game was last night. That was a rain out postponement. They used to count as far as the records in the game, and they used to be suspended and then restarted. So a portion of a game, a suspended game, would count with all the hits and runs and things of that nature, but that's no longer the case. Suspended games are now resumed and completed. Runner going, and it's a strikeout for Tony Sipp. In the 8th inning, the Twins rally. They come up with 3 runs on 3 hits and leave a man. We move to the 9th, 12-6, Houston.
Astros in the lead. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to At Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Brownie.
Thanks, Julia. We go to the 9th inning here, and there is drama because Jose Altuve will bat, and it's a 12-6 game. Pitcher number 5 getting loose, Taylor Rogers. He's 3-0 with a 2.41 ERA for the Twins.
The Astros are getting a good look at most of the guys coming out of that bullpen for the Minnesota Twins. 2 more guys left down there, the closer Kinsler and Ryan Presley.
That could really play come tonight, game 2 of this doubleheader, with the guys who are unavailable. Tonkin threw 33 pitches, Boshear's 32, Jaguar 25, and there's strike 1 to Bregman. Bregman has 2 runs batted in. He's 1 for 4. He has a double and a sac fly. Jaguar 2 2/3 innings, 2 hits, no runs. He had 1 walk, 1 strikeout. It's 1-1. Altuve's on deck with a shot at his 5th hit of the day. He's 4 for 5. 3 runs batted in. 2 balls and a strike. Now 3-1 to Bregman. Altuve began the day with a .380 batting average against lefties. Full count to Bregman. (12-17-0) for Houston, 6-10-1 for Minnesota. Bregman draws a leadoff walk. That's the 5th walk for Twins pitching. Each of their pitchers has walked 1.
Got that out of the way.
Now Altuve. Oh, this is fun today. Watching him go 4 for 5, drive in 3 runs, score 2 runs. up to 366 for the season. We've seen it before. We saw it with Jeff Bagwell in 1994 when he hit 368.
Man.
You know, come to think of it, that was the strike shortened season.
Yeah.
And this was about that exact date when that season ended and Bagwell got hit by a pitch and it broke a bone in his hand.
Oh, that is dirty talk. I don't want to even think about that happening to Altuve.
No, but
man, but that was that was a rough year.
Yeah, comparing the number of games they played, just about exactly the same number of games and about exactly the same batting average to this point of the season. 2-0. And guess who was the MVP that year?
A Houston Astro?
Yeah. You know him. 3-0. So, you know, there are more and more things being written about number 27. And he is the leader in the clubhouse in the minds of many of the people who vote for MVP in the American League. That's ball 4.
Wow.
He's on for the 5th time in this game. So Rogers really comes out of the gate struggling to throw strikes, faces Tony Kemp now. Kemp struck out looking in the 7th inning. Rogers, 25 years old, was born in Littleton, Colorado, went to the University of Kentucky, an 11th round pick of the Twins in 2012. He pitched a hitless inning in the Twins' 3-1 win Monday night. That's a strike. Got a double play ball when he faced Carlos Gomez. Chop back to Rogers. He throws to first, throws it away. Bregman scores to make it 13-6. Altuve to third. And Kemp into second base.
It's one way to keep earned runs off your ERA.
Yes, it is.
Just go ahead and yard sale a ground ball to yourself. Rogers having a tough start here. Had the ground ball, wasn't even thinking about going anywhere else but first base. Had the out in Tony Kemp at first, but just yanked it well past Vargas at first.
Second error of the day for the Twins. Now the infielders come in. Marwin Gonzalez, the batter. He's 3 for 5. Preston Tucker's on deck. 7-run lead for the Astros. And there's ball 1. This is where it gets tough for Paul Molitor. Not wanting to use another pitcher.
Yeah. It's so true.
It's 2-0. Tommy Malone is coming out of the bullpen to start the night game of this day-night doubleheader. Ripped into left field. That'll score Altuve. And Kemp to the plate. He beats the throw as well. 2-run single by Marwin Gonzalez. The Astros lead grows to 15-6.
Ash and I talk about it all the time. Hitters being greedy in some of these games. Right here, you get a good look at a greedy swing from Marwin Gonzalez on a center cut fastball. We might be seeing a position player come out and fire the ball in here.
Yeah, Molitor's out talking with the home plate umpire Mark Wegner right now. We'll see if that happens. Looks like that might in fact be the plan. Looks like one of the infielders might be wanting, let's see if he,
I think Dozier's pitched in a game this year, hadn't he?
yeah, he might be the guy. Certainly he hasn't. Not on the stat sheet.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
That's it for Rogers. A tough 9th inning here for him. And the big plan is to avoid injury, certainly when a position player goes out there and pitches.
I mean, we've seen it a couple times this year where position players do come in and pitch, but yeah, what you do not want to see is that position player try and do a little too much and end up getting injured. But it's going to be Eduardo Escobar coming into this game, making his appearance as a pitcher. We're going into Toronto, and Toronto had that 19-inning game where Goins came in to pitch in that game and proceeded to go on the DL with a hurt elbow.
Yes, he did. And that's the fear, a la Jose Canseco, who blew out his elbow pitching with the Texas Rangers years ago. That is the big fear of a manager, using a position player to pitch. But in this case, Eduardo Escobar is going to tune it up. He has not pitched before. He's 27 years old. He's been a position player. And so it gives a little comic relief, if you will, to a tough day, a tough game. First career appearance. But we'll see how it goes. Now, it can lighten the mood in the clubhouse afterwards. It's something guys can have fun with, but certainly not if there's an injury. They can't. And we've seen a pitcher get hurt, pinch running, Stephen Wright, the other night for Boston Red Sox, diving back into second. He hurt his right shoulder. It can work the other way too.
Just hope that doesn't have any long-term damage. Stephen Wright having a great year.
He sure is. So Escobar becomes pitcher number 6. Looks like Trevor Plouffe is in the game now at third base. Polanco moving over to shortstop, waiting for the shot clock to be fixed or something like that. Not sure what we're waiting for. Oh, we can't start until it gets to 0 in baseball.
I have no idea.
That's new. Okay, let's go. Fly ball left field line. Here's Grossman coming over, and it's up against the padding there. Or foul, strike one. Oh, good play, good play.
Yeah, the Twins have some pretty good outfielders in the stands today. Got a question, and it's a very good question because I immediately thought it.
Okay.
When the position player comes in, position players hate facing position players in a real game.
Yeah.
Unless you do that.
Tucker with a single to right. Yeah, he made the most of it. He got his first hit of the day. You're right. You don't want to make an out against a position player who's never pitched before.
It's like pitchers giving up hits to pitchers. Unless they're named Madison Bumgarner or some of those guys at Rake, Arrieta.
A.J. Reed has 2 hits and a walk. Popped up, and there's strike 1 to Reed. Jake Marisnick on deck. Reed takes it, and there's a ball for a 1-1 count.
Tell you what, the Astros are probably continuing to lobby to have this not be a split doubleheader. Just go ahead and run right into that second game the way they're swinging it.
Yes. Up and in a ball. 2 balls and a strike. And with Escobar coming in from shortstop, Polanco moved to short. Plouffe is at third. Foul back, and it's 2-2. It gets interesting too when some of these position players who can throw a knuckleball come into a game and do that. I'm trying to think about different guys who have pitched for the Astros. Didn't Mark Loretta pitch in a game one time? Can't remember for sure.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Remember Ty Wigington begging to come into a game.
Fly ball right. Kepler lays out for it, and Kepler made the catch. Terrific play by Kepler in right.
Not giving up on the game.
No.
Pretty good play by Max.
First out of the inning, too.
Wow. Not easy to charge in and make that play after standing around for a good 3 hours watching the other team just abuse your pitchers.
It is not. Now Marisnick, he is not in the hit column in this game. Inside ball one. Everybody else in the starting lineup has at least a hit except Jake. He's 0 for 4 with a walk, has scored a run. Two and 0. He fouls it back for a 2-1 count. The 19 hits is the Astros high in a game this season. They scored 16 runs against the Twins May 4th. They've scored 15 runs against the Twins in this game. Fouled away. 2-2. They've now scored 47 runs against Minnesota pitching in 6 games. Compared to the Twins' 28 runs. Houston trying to take a 4-2 lead in the season series. Marisnick floats one out to first base, and it's caught by Vargas. 2 outs. Looked like that ball might have been foul when he caught it. Couldn't tell for sure, and the umpire did not signal.
Umpire may have given up on this game. A lot going on over there at first base. Nice play.
Bet. Now the 8th Astro to bat in the inning is Jason Castro. He is 3 for 4 with a walk. Castro with 3 hits. Altuve with 4 hits. Nice ball one.
Gosh, he's squeezing him.
Marwin Gonzalez with 4 hits in this game. 1-1, and the fans are into it now at Target Field. Tyler White's on deck. Escobar trying to get 3 straight hitters after giving up a single to Tucker. That's flared over shortstop into shallow left field, and on the run it's Grossman with the catch. The Astros in the 9th inning score 3, 2 hits, 1 error. They leave 2, and they take their big 9-run lead to the bottom of the 9th, 15-6. But more here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The major league debut of a young right-hander, Yandel Gustave, 23 years old, from the Dominican. 6'2", 210, hard thrower, Blummer, and he has had a good year in the minor leagues. He's 2-2 at AAA with a 3.71 ERA. He had been primarily a setup man when James Hoyt was the closer for Fresno.
Yeah, it's a pretty good 1-2 punch, and there has been a lot of talk about Gustave getting up here into the big leagues. 9th rookie on this roster for the Houston Astros, and he does have an electric arm that Brownie's talking about. Mid to high 90s with that fastball, but what I've heard a lot about is that great slider that he has. He tried working on a changeup, but he canned that for a two-seam fastball, so he's creating a little bit more run, getting some movement on the fastball to go with the four-seamer and the slider. And more often than not, when you're one of those setup guys or a potential closer, you really only need 2 pitches because you're not going to see that lineup more than one time. So he's got great stuff. I'm anxious to see it. Sometimes the issue might be a little bit of control, so there should be a little bit of excitement for Gustave coming into this ball game right now.
The Astros signed him May 25th, 2010. He was 17 years old in the Dominican. First major league pitch comes to Juan Centeno, and it is ball 1. Centeno's 1 for 3. Perfect situation for Gustave to make his major league debut. Now, you talked about his attractive arm to the scouts. 1 ball, 1 strike. Boston saw that and made him the 6th overall pick in the Rule 5 draft in 2014. Then he was traded to Kansas City, and he spent spring training with the Royals, but he was claimed off waivers by San Diego. That's a liner into left for a hit for Centeno. He's 2 for 4, but then he returned to Houston when the Padres did not keep him. And the Astros were awfully glad. They did not want to lose this arm from the organization.
Yeah, that's an interesting route to the big leagues, but they are glad to have him in that blue and orange as an Astro for sure.
Last year he was a Double-A Corpus Christi, and he had 20 saves with a 5-2 record at 2.15 ERA in 46 games. He struck out 49 in 58 2/3 innings. Robbie Grossman takes strike 1. Robbie's 1 for 3 in this game. Dozier's on deck. That one popped the mitt. It's 1-1. Now, Gustave was placed on the Astros 40-man roster last November 20th. They did not want to lose him again in the Rule 5 draft, so by placing him on the 40-man roster, that prevented that from happening. 2 balls and a strike. We get questions about that all the time. What is the Rule 5 draft? It involves players who are not on the 40-man, and only 40 can be protected from that Rule 5 among certain eligible players who have been in the professional ranks for 5 or 6 years, depending on when they signed. But the downside of accumulating a lot of prospects is that only 40 people can be on that roster at a time, so some may be lost through the Rule 5 draft to other organizations. Fly ball goes toward the left field line. Here's Kemp giving chase. Marwin Gonzalez watches him. He's down on a knee making that catch with the sun a problem. 1 down. Handle that one well.
I'll tell you what, this series fly balls have not been easy. A couple of missed plays, and Jake Marisnick picking up Altuve the other day, and now Tony Kemp fighting the sun.
That's 1 down. Gustave faces Dozier now. Dozier's 0 for 2 with a pair of walks. Sometimes organizations look at the players that they want on that 40-man about this time of the year and the ones that they stand to lose through the Rule 5 pick, and they are more free with trading prospects because they cannot protect all the good ones. Strike 1 to Dozier. Marisnick is in right center. That's a foul ball.
There's a lot that goes into that process too. Organizational needs. Maybe Maybe they need to keep a position player on there instead of having that extra arm.
Yes, sir.
They risk losing that arm.
Pre-game show time for Game 2 is 5:30 tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A lot of people are working right now, maybe glancing at this game. If you want a full recap of Game 1 and a preview of Game 2, 5:30 is the time on Rid Sports.
Not sure if my Twitter account backs up that theory, Brownie.
Okay.
So quite a few fans out there enjoying this ball game, that's for sure. Like it.
Off the mid of Castro, the runner will advance on ball 2. I believe the ruling on that is wild pitch. We'll check it for you. Butterflies are probably bouncing around inside his stomach right now.
Yeah, some people at home probably sitting there going, wow, he's got a big lead, nothing to worry about, just go out there and throw strikes. This is the big leagues, and this is an opportunity this kid's been waiting for his entire life. Tough to control the emotions no matter what game you're in.
That's a gapper to left center field. Marisnik over to pick it up on the backhand side. RBI double for Dozier, and the Twins trail 15-7. Dozier gets his 25th double, RBI number 66.
Turned around 99.
That's what's so amazing about major league hitters, isn't it? Their ability to do that.
Yes. It is not easy to do. You've got to decide very quickly whether or not you're going to swing, and then you have to have the athletic ability and the eye-hand coordination to barrel it up like Dozier just did.
Now it's Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe takes a look at strike 1. First time up for Plouffe in this game. .250 batting average, 7 homers, 27 runs batted in. He just came off the disabled list prior to this series. A swing there, and he's been one of the key guys in this organization, a first-round draft choice. Now there seems to be question about how to use some of the infielders here. Plouffe has a pretty good salary right now. Do they keep him? Do they deal him? Move somebody else over to play third? No balls, 2 strikes to Plouffe. The Twins have typically been a lower budget operation, but they did open up the purse strings for those free agent pitchers we talked about last night. Guys like Irvin Santana and Phil Hughes, Ricky Nolasco. Outside to Plouffe. 1-2. Plouffe was a first-round pick and many years ago, as a matter of fact. He's been in their organization for a while. He's 30 now. Takes a look at that one for a ball, and it's 2-2. Kepler's on deck. Doug Fister started for Houston. He went 8, allowing 5 runs. Foul back. If Gustave can finish things here, that will really give a lift to the guys who would be then rested for the nightcap of this day-night doubleheader. Kevin Chapman joins the club as the 26th man on a doubleheader day. Will Harris, Pat Neshek, Ken Giles, Michael Feliz, James Hoyt. That's smoked on a line. Marisnik over to his right to catch it. 2 outs. And that's the beauty of having a situation like this. For AJ, he uses Tony Sipp for 1 inning. He gives up 2 hits and a run with no walks and a strikeout. Then Gustave makes his major league debut. And many managers are really hesitant to use a young man in that situation in a tight ball game. Kepler's driven in 3, 2-run double and a sac fly for him. There's strike one. The Toronto Blue Jays will be next on the horizon after tonight's finishing game of this series. Joey Bats just went on the disabled list with the knee injury. Jose Bautista. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. And Toronto was rough on Houston, winning 3 of 4 at Minute Maid Park. The Astros will get a chance for a payback series at Rogers Center starting tomorrow night. Upstairs for a 2 ball 1 strike count now for Gustave. Joe Musgrove and Francisco Liriano pitch tomorrow night. Pre-game show at 5:30. Gustave, oh, he whiffed on it, and it rolls out to Altuve. That keeps the inning alive and the game alive for Kenny Vargas. Just didn't get his glove down.
That's tough. You're in a big league ball game. You're excited about it. We talked about the wheels might be spinning a little bit quick, and right there, ball just getting by Gustave. He was really the only one that had a play on this ball.
That's ruled an error on Gustave. Now runners at first and third. Vargas has ripped 2 homers in this game. Altuve to his left. On to Tyler White, and the Astros win game 1 of this day-night doubleheader with a ton of offense. 19 hits, their best hit output of the season. 15 runs. Doug Fister goes to 11-7, beating Berrios, who is 2-3. Final score 15-7. The Astros beat the Twins.